Forget your typical and easily breakable ceramic planter. Let's upgrade to something more doable and made from recycled materials. Today, we're going to be making a simple yet stylish planter made from recycled plastic sheets. I want to keep things simple, so I'm planning on just making a simple square or rectangle shape with just some slightly elevated feet. The idea is to keep it simple yet stylish, nothing complicated. We are going to be working with recycled polystyrene sheets. The pattern reminds me a little bit of terrazzo, so I'm going to be using that as my main inspiration for the design of this planter. To make this project even easier, I'll be repurposing these excess cuts I have from a previous project. In this case, these are 12 by 10 inches and they're ½ an inch in thickness. For a seamless and nice look, I'll be joining these plates with miter joints. I'll be making 45-degree cuts along the edges and bond them together with a glue we'll make ourselves. Making this planter should be an easy process, so let's dive in and get started. Let's start by cutting our edges at a 45-degree angle. I'm using a circular saw since I don't have a table saw. I've applied blue tape to mark where the edge of the tool should align. In this instance, I'm using a piece of wall trim as a guide to ensure a straight cut. During this cut, I noticed my saw shifted slightly at the end. This could have been avoided if I had used a longer piece of trim as my guide. Next, I'm cutting some rectangles from leftover material. These will be attached to the inner walls and will serve as stopper for the bottom piece. I'm drilling clearance holes for the screws. I measure and mark the position for the small stopper rectangles. When working with plastic sheets, pilot holes are essential. Unlike wood, this material is dense and can easily melt due to friction. The screws need a clear path to avoid melting and ensuring a secure hold. When acetone is applied to polystyrene, it acts as a solvent, partially dissolving both surfaces that need to be joined. This reaction fuses the two materials together, creating a strong bond between the stopper and the plate, which serves as an extra safety measure in addition to the screws. I repeat the previous steps on all 4 sides of our box-shaped planter. Now, I'm taping the edges to get a preliminary view and ensuring everything fits without any interferences. This also makes it easier to handle during assembly. I'll be using standard ratchet straps to securely clamp all the edges simultaneously. Now, let's prepare our glue. I'll be using 100% pure acetone as the solvent, mixed with waste shavings from our circular saw cuts. I want the generous amounts of adhesive to assure all edges are evenly coated. I'll add acetone and shavings gradually until I achieve a putty-like texture. I start to notice my gloves were tearing. It became clear that acetone not only dissolves polystyrene, but also disintegrates my vinyl gloves. For future projects, I'll invest in some thicker rubber cleaning gloves. To prolong the gluing application time, I'm storing my putty in a glass container. This will limit air exposure and slow down the drying process. I've added just a middle strap to allow easy access to the edges for applying my glue putty. I shape the putty into 3 rolls with my hands, similar to working with Play-Doh. Then I use a spoon to push the putty into the seams. With all the edges covered in glue putty, it's time to add 2 more straps and clamp everything at once. To assure a good bond, we need to allow at least 24 hours of drying time. While we wait, let's get started on the feet. I'll just use 2 rectangular pieces and join them in a cross shape. This will add stability while slightly elevating the planter. Without a table saw, I'll have to make the cross lap joint with the tools available in my shop. I'll start by removing material with a drill press, then use a handsaw and finish the cut with a file. When using a handsaw, it's important to avoid overheating the plastic. This can cause a deformation in the cut and a bad finish. Patience is key when working with this material. On the other hand, using a file feels very similar to working with wood without the melting problem. After 24 hours, it's time to take off the straps and check our progress. I'm very surprised by how well the joints turned out. I noticed some areas get a bit damaged from the ratchet straps. I'll have to keep that in mind for the next time I use them. I also realized I forgot to add putty glue to an entire area. Luckily, this is an easy fix. The next step is to create the planter space. I'm using the miter saw to cut the inner shape. Using a drill with a long extension wasn't the best choice for the pilot holes. I accidentally drilled too fast without applying enough pressure, and now I got a stock drill bit that is fused to the plastic. After several failed attempts, breaking it was my only option. Looks like this planter has a metal companion for life. I'm now securing the bottom piece with wood screws for a snug fit. These screws work great with plastic. With the floor installed, it's time to attach the feet to our planter. I'll begin by marking the shape of the feet to determine where to drill my clearance holes. After my earlier mistake with the stock drill bit, I've decided to skip the extension tool for the pilot holes this time. To make the planter more robust, I'll be adding glue putty to the cross-shaped feet in addition to the screws. I've noticed that the planter's feet aren't level, indicating my cross-lap joint wasn't perfect. As a quick fix, I'll file down one side of the feet to create a level surface. Remember to mark your planter with the number 6 to indicate it's made out of polystyrene. I almost forgot, we need to add some drainage holes to the bottom of our planter. Here is the final result, a simple yet stylish planter made from recycled polystyrene. It's designed for both indoor and outdoor use, and I love how the white and black pattern will beautifully contrast with a vibrant green plant. Despite some minor details and a few hiccups, I think this is an easy and straightforward project. Although I used a variety of tools, you can easily make this planter with just basic tools. In this project, you could easily do it with just a file, a hand drill, and a hand circular saw. Additionally, there was no sanding required since the original finish of the polystyrene sheet is smooth enough and actually looks amazing. This project goes to show that recycled plastic sheets can be used for simple applications, even similar to the ones when we're using plywood. It proves that not all recycled plastic products require complex manufacturing steps to achieve great results. Whether you're an experienced maker or just exploring new materials, recycled plastic is worth a try. I'd love to hear your ideas and thoughts for future projects. Please drop them on the comments below.